Most people believe success is earned through effort, through long hours, through exhaustion. The samurai believed the opposite. They believed that working hard without precision was a form of weakness, that effort without clarity was noise, and that the man who exhausted himself was often the least prepared. Miyamoto Musashi, undefeated in over 60 duels, once wrote that true mastery looks effortless from the outside. This is not a story about doing more. It is a story about doing less and becoming dangerous through restraint. In the modern world, effort has become a moral virtue. We praise the man who wakes early, works late, and never stops. We admire exhaustion as proof of worth. But in ancient Japan, endless labor was not admired. It was questioned. A samurai was not judged by how hard he trained, but by how little was wasted. Every movement, every thought, every breath. Musashi warned against busy training, movement without direction. He observed that many swordsmen trained constantly, yet never improved. They mistook activity for progress. Hard work feels safe. It gives the illusion of control. But the sword does not care how tired you are. Consider a man named Kenji, not a warrior, not extraordinary. Kenji works longer than anyone around him. He arrives early, leaves late, and answers every request. His calendar is full. His mind never rests. Yet years pass and nothing changes. He is respected for his effort but overlooked for advancement. Trusted to endure but never entrusted to lead. At night, he feels a quiet resentment, not toward others, but toward himself. Because somewhere inside he senses the truth. He is busy, but not decisive. Active, but not precise. Like a swordsman swinging wildly in every direction. Miyamoto Musashi wrote the Book of 5 Rings near the end of his life. Not as a motivational text, but as a correction. He observed that most people fail not because they lack effort, but because they lack discernment. Musashi trained relentlessly, but never blindly. He eliminated excess technique, excess thought, excess emotion. He practiced ikijiozami, complete absorption in a single act. One strike, one decision, one moment. To Musashi, uncontrolled effort was a distraction from mastery. The warrior who works hardest often avoids the harder task, choosing what not to do. Kenji does not fail because he lacks discipline. He fails because his discipline is scattered. He says yes to everything. He pursues many goals at once. He improves nothing deeply. In samurai philosophy, this is considered dangerous. A warrior with 10 techniques masters none. A mind divided cannot strike cleanly. Zen teachings emphasize Shoshin, beginner's mind, but also warn against dilution. Musashi called this many paths of confusion. Hard work across too many directions weakens identity. Bushido, the way of the warrior, was not a doctrine of struggle. It was a doctrine of alignment, duty over desire, clarity over chaos, precision over effort. A samurai did not train endlessly. He trained deliberately. When training ended, he rested fully. When resting ended, he acted fully. There was no leakage. Modern effort leaks everywhere. Kenji reaches a moment of exhaustion that effort cannot solve. Not a breakdown, not drama, just emptiness. One evening, he sits alone, realizing that his life feels wide but shallow. That night, he reads a line attributed to Musashi. Do nothing which is of no use. The sentence is simple, unforgiving. Kenji understands that his problem is not laziness, it is excess. The samurai did not add strength, they removed weakness. They simplified weapons, simplified movement, simplified thought. Kenji begins to be eliminated, not dramatically, quietly. He reduces commitments, stops explaining himself, focuses on one skill that matters. This is not optimization, it is identity. He stops asking, am I working hard enough? And asks, is this necessary? Zen teaches Wushin, no mind, action without friction. The master appears calm not because he avoids effort, but because effort has been refined into inevitability. The sword falls because it must, not because it is forced. Kenji notices something unsettling. As he does less, his results increase, because his attention is no longer fractured. In samurai culture, frantic movement was seen as panic. True readiness was quiet. A warrior prepared long before the battle. So the battle itself required little effort. Musashi often arrived late to duels, not from arrogance, but from psychological dominance. He conserved energy. He controlled the frame. Working hard at the wrong time signals lack of command. Kenji adopts small, unbreakable practices, not goals, not ambition, daily training in one domain. Silence before action, completion over expansion. This mirrors Keiko, disciplined repetition, not endless. Exactly. The samurai trusted systems over emotion. Bushido taught that who you are determines what you do. Kenji stops seeing himself as the hard worker. He becomes the man who chooses carefully, who finishes, who speaks less. Effort follows identity, not the reverse. Something changes. Not externally at first, but people notice Kenji's calm, his refusal to rush, his clarity. He no longer seeks validation through exhaustion. This mirrors Hijishin, the immovable mind. Calm is not passive, it is prepared. Musashi died alone, undefeated. He left behind one final text, Dakodo, the way of walking alone. Its lessons are severe. Do not depend on effort. Do not chase comfort. Do not clutter your life. Success to Musashi was not an achievement. It was freedom from unnecessary struggle, not hard work, but selective effort, not intensity, but consistency, not ambition, but restraint. The samurai did not survive through exhaustion. They survived through clarity. Working hard feels honorable, but the warrior asks a harder question. Is this essential? In a world addicted to effort, restraint is strength. In a culture of noise, silence is power. The sword that strikes once cleanly does not need to strike again, and the man who knows when to stop has already won.